Mr. Andre Peery, spelled P-E-E-R-Y. I want to tell you, first of all, thank you for giving me your time today.
Yeah.
I got to ask you, first of all, when did you join the Air Force? How long were you in the Air Force? And what made you want to join the Air Force?
Well, I graduated in 1966, went to Concord College, now Concord University, for a year. At the end of that year, I didn't have the best year, but I actually got drafted. They were attempting to draft me. And I thought, don't think I want to go to the Army, but I'm okay. I think I could serve as long as I find something that I like to do. So Air Force was the choice that I made. And I have to tell you, I tell young people all the time, if you're not really sure what you want to do, go into the military. Number one, they'll do an evaluation of trying to figure out where your skill base is at that time, but believe me, they'll give you a job where you can learn how to do something. I think you had that experience yourself.
Yes, sir.
So that'll get you started. And then, if you stay in as a career, all right, that's good. If you get out like I did after 6.5 years, 1960, actually December of 67 through June of 74, so 6.5 years, I got basically an associate's degree in electronic technology and experience working in the field, which is what employers really want right now. They want the education and the experience piece. So that's how I got started in the Air Force, and I'm truly thankful for what I learned there. And people tell me, well, what did the Air Force give you? I said, it gave me skill base, electronics, as I was saying, but there's another thing it gave me, an advanced course in human relations, because I got to meet people from different countries, Korea, Japan, Vietnam, Thailand, and going through other countries. So I tell you what, that experience is it's just so valuable in being able to look at life and see it in a different kind of way.
And then, just as we were talking off to the side, you are when you talk about community involvement and getting involved with the community, you've done that in so many ways. First of all, let's talk about the Boy Scouts. When did you get involved with that? And you're still a part of it now, but when did you get involved in the Boy Scouts? And what made you want to be a part of that organization?
Now, I started in Boy Scouts in 1959 as a Cub Scout. I went through the ranks, and by 14 years old, I already had 32 merit badges and was poised as a Life Scout. The next step is Eagle. However, this area was still Jim Crow when I grew up. And in that environment, I didn't really have a place to go learn how to do the swim exercises I needed to do a 1 mile swim. And they had a requirement at that time that you had to get your life-saving merit badge. We have options now. In other words, you don't have to get just this. You can get this or this. We didn't have that option, so I missed out on Eagle Scout. But it's okay, because that gave me the scouting basics, and over the years I stayed in. I helped scouting as much as I could. I was on the executive board of the Hawkeye Area Council in Iowa for a little while, but things didn't blossom for me in scouting till I came here. I actually spent 5 years working for Homeland Security, so I wasn't here all the time. But I came back I said, I got to do some community work. I left that job, and I joined Boy Scouts of America as a professional. Here again, one of the best things I ever did, because it showed me what scouting really does from A to Z. That is, from Cub Scouts to Eagle to adults, leadership. And I treasure that experience. So that's what got me. And I left as a professional in 2012, but I still work with the council as the council training chair or whatever. One of my favorite programs is the Wood Badge program for most advanced training for adult leaders, and NYLT, National Youth Leadership Training for Youth. Those are the two top training programs that we offer people that come into scouting. And I'm still committed to scouting, and I will be. I can tell you right now, I will be for the rest of my life.
And I see your passion in it, and I see what you've done, but it's got to be impactful to have someone like you said. There were things back in the day. You were part of Boy Scouts as a young person.
Yeah.
Things that you couldn't do back then, but now as time has progressed, the options have grown. And that's got to be big to see just the growth of the organization and the fact that, like, when you were young, like I said, there's things you couldn't do, but now you're a part of an organization that has kind of grown a bit.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's interesting because that was then. Here's where we are now. We had a lot more scouts. I remember the figure 8,000 scouts back in around 2010 or so. Our numbers have dramatically dropped. So yeah, we got that one obstacle out of the way, so everybody's on the same playing field, but we got other challenges now. And I'm starting to work with some folks to help change that too, because scouting is the best thing that could ever happen to a young person. Because see, one of the big things that changes, Boy Scouts back there, it's scouting now. And scouting includes boys and girls and families. We're a family scouting organization now. So that has really changed, and now we got to build on that. That we want you to come into scouting, not just the boy, not just the girl. We want the whole family.
And then obviously you mentioned how that branched into where we are today, the Carver Garden.
Yes.
Now, I got to ask you this. When did that idea come about? And then seeing it grow to where it is now, and then there's even more connected to it down the line.
Yes. See, what happened after I retired, as most people will find out, and you will find out, it sounds like you've been working for a long time. When you retire, you'll find out that you go from one phase of life of primary job and then some outside activities that'll all flipped. And if you're a community person like me, then you'll get involved in these things in the community, and you'll look back at yourself 1 to 2 years after retirement, you'll say, how did I have time to have a job? Because you fill up your life with all these other things. So once I left scouting as a job, I took on more energy in this organization here. Around 2014, I think it was, it's been almost 10 years. We were we were having like community conversations, which we still are having community conversations right now, over at St. Paul United Methodist Church, talking about some plans that we could put together that will do things in the community that will help this community become more aware of itself. In this case, we want people to become more aware of you can grow your own food and you can eat healthier food if you grow your own food. So we started out with, this is a vacant lot, just a vacant lot. There was nothing here but just grass and rocks and stuff like that. And look what it's turned, that's an orchard over there. We got 11 fruit trees over there. So it has become something really wonderful, especially for those of us who enjoy being outdoors, seeing what Mother Earth can do and grow all these different kind of, I can't name all these plants we got in here. We have so many. And we have garden number 2 over there that's bigger than this. So what branched from Boy Scouts more focused to this was the idea that we wanted to do something in the community. And one valley even came. We weren't even one valley at that time. That came about 3 or 4 years later, where we had to organize to start getting grants and stuff like that. So One Valley Inc., we need your help as well.
You know, and you mentioned something too, the fact that you know, this area here is a food desert.
Yes.
A grocery store around, so I guess some of the options, like you mentioned, is to come here, maybe, like you said, grow your own food. But what do you feel, from your perspective, you mentioned this is a food desert. What do you think has to happen, or what do you think it would take to bring like a grocery store kind of to this area to eliminate the food desert issue?
It's already happened. Yeah, that's funny. You know, our energy to take care of this, what we call a problem, not having a grocery store. Goodwill, right now, today, Melrose Park is what you're going to see that sign up there say. They have embraced. We've had some other folks in the community. Evidently, it's the one monkey. I don't know if you've ever heard of the one monkey theory, where a monkey on one island started doing something, and without even having a connection, it happened on another. Same thing has happened here. We had that vision, we created our ideas, and now there are some other folks that work with Goodwill. Goodwill is going to start their project to build the first really full-size grocery store in this area, and it should start around January, actual construction. So that's another story for you. If somebody in your organization wants to cover that, that's going to be a great story, because it's not only just going to be the grocery store. They're going to put a health facility, meeting rooms facility, counseling facility, youth, has a little youth component. It's wonderful, but the primary thing over there is they're going to build a full-size grocery store that will be in this area. So that's already in the works.
So where's the location of that going to be again?
Right up where the new Melrose Library is,
Okay.
where Goodwill is beside.
Right.
That's where they're converting that into a grocery store.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
that's up there where the old Kmart and all that used to be.
Yes, yes.
So you think?
Yes. Well, 30 years.
There you go. So overall, when you look, I mean, you've been on this earth. All right, so you're 75, right?
Correct.
So you've been on this earth for 3/4 of a century, and you've seen a lot in all areas. When you look back at all the things, you know, you mentioned, which was neat, what the Air Force instilled in you, what the Boy Scouts instilled with you, what you're doing here with this community garden, giving back. You look back at that, I mean, that's a full life. I mean, do you just sit back, sometimes you just look back and say, okay, these are the things, you know, I'm proud to be a part of and accomplish and have done my part to help the community. I mean, because you're a community-oriented guy, and you've done a lot. I mean, I'm sure that you look back at that, you say, because knowing you don't do it for the glory or the praise. You do it because you want to make a difference. How special is it for you, in your own way, to make a difference in the community?
Well, you're exactly right. I do it because I like doing it. It gives me my own self-gratification to be part of these kind of things and see it really happen. Did you happen to know Lou Peery? Mm-hmm. That's my uncle.
Wow. That's it.
My Uncle Louis, if you will know him, was a very community-oriented person. So he was one of my examples. My dad and my mom, fortunate to have two parents. My mom taught me unconditional love. That was her lesson for me in my entire life. My dad gave me a philosophy or how to look at life through all the studies that he offered me. And then my Uncle Louis gave me an example of how you take that and spread it out into the community. So I'm really following his legacy. And I'll tell you a little bit more about how even now he's made a serious impact. But all these organizations mean a lot to me because I feel good when I'm doing the work of these organizations. I feel good. I'm not doing it to please somebody else or whatever. I'm doing it because it makes me feel good, and if it helps somebody else, hey, this is what I love. Now, my Uncle Louis was a lion. I started out in Rotary, and we didn't cross. But when he died in 2014, the club that he helped form the Roanoke Valley Breakfast Lions Club. That club was poised not to have a Peery in it for the first time. It was founded in 1977 when he and Bill Kraft attempted to bring my uncle, an African-American man, into the Lions Club. I'm not going to name the club. I usually do, but we're going to stay away from that. But to bring him into his club, and that club rejected him because of his color. Now, what I thought about it, I said, that club didn't realize they could have made history, because my uncle and Bill Kraft got together and said, you know what, let's do our own club. My uncle went out and found 10, 12 people. Bill Kraft found 10 or 12 people and started the Roanoke Valley Breakfast Lions Club in 1977, the first integrated club in the state of Virginia. That is a legacy that needs to continue. So when I thought about, my uncle, his passing will take Peery's out of this Lions Club, and it's always had a Peery in it. So I joined, not knowing that I was going to get pulled into leadership in my Lions Club, vice president, president of the club, and then pulled into district leadership as a zone chair. And now, last year, second vice district governor, this year, first vice district governor, and next year, district governor of multiple district 24C. And that installation will take place next June in Melbourne, Australia. I mean, I felt like I'm just getting pulled along. So when you called me yesterday and said, hey, you know, I've learned that spirit works mysteriously and you have to listen. I took that as a call. I did not plan this here, but you called me because you're working to try to do things, good things in this community. And to do that, you have to be very creative, and a lot of things that happen really good don't happen because of a plan. They happen because somebody had an inspiration and acted on it. And that's what we're doing in One Valley, is we're trying to act on our impulses to do things like this. Who would have ever imagined we would have something like this? And you look at that other garden, we just basically double our garden size with these great big garden things. But this is our impulse that we want to do something good in this community, and we think growing your own food, eating healthy, participating in various organizations in your community is a way to serve. And so that's why I've kind of gone along with, clearly I'm following my uncle's legacy, because he had a red coat. I have a picture of it. There'll be an article in the Tribune one of these days that is being put together on that history of lions, where my uncle had this coat on. When he passed, I got the coat. Not know, here again, I don't know, I'm keeping the coat, but I don't know why. And now, that is the coat I wear that has the big International Lions Club International patch on it for second vice district governor this year, first vice district governor, and then next year I'll have the district governor patch. But I'm getting pulled along, so I'm going with the flow of what Spirit tells me I should be doing to be the most effective I can in this community and serving this community.
Mr. Peery, that is awesome. Is there anything else you want to add or say, or anything I might have missed?
Okay, for our military veterans out there, I know some of you went through some very difficult stuff. Stuff that, it would be difficult for me, because taking another person's life and being in the kind of situations they were in, people have no idea. I saw it happen when we had COVID with nurses and doctors. and the people who had to work that. People have no idea when you're faced with death, it takes you to a different place. So, but don't give up. A one way to deal with that in a healthy way is get out here, find something that fits your passion, and get out here and do something, because it'll take you away from that. Because I know people can't sleep at night. I know that those reoccurring dreams come. You're fighting in the middle of the night when you should be resting. Please pick up the mantle here in your community and go out and find somebody that you can help, find an organization that you can help, and it will definitely help you in the future to resolve some of your issues with a difficult past.
And you know, maybe what you just said should apply really to everybody, not just veterans. But I mean, that's in that context, yes. That's even awesome. So,
Yeah.
Mr. Peery, thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Amen.
I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.